Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make these gorgeous little embellishments for really cheap. Now you can use these as ornaments for small trees. You can take a 1/8 inch ribbon and loop it in the back and just glue it on there and hang them up. You can also use these as ornaments that you can glue straight on to styrofoam cone trees, you know, the kind that are covered with felt. You can use these as centers for hair bows or flowers. You can glue them on wreaths, use them for embellishments for shabby chic projects such as birdhouses or frames. You can also use these as embellishments for journal covers. This would fancy up a journal cover. And you can also use these to fancy up a plain coin purse or something like that. Make it look like there's a little button on the front. So with that said, I'll show you exactly how to make these, and I really think you'll be surprised. Okay, so the things you'll need are some 20mm rhinestones. This is the Recollections brand that I bought from Michaels. They have a lot of color choices inside the store. You can also find them online at Michaels. Just type in the words Recollections Rhinestones large, and there will be some that will pop up for you. Now I will say there aren't as many color choices online as there is if you go into the store, but they are very pretty. And this is just what I have left over here. Now you can also go to Hobby Lobby, and Paper Studio has some beautiful rhinestones as well. I would highly suggest not using the bagged rhinestones, the type where you might see, oh, I don't know, 20 in a bag all together. They usually have them at the 99-cent store or at the Dollar Tree. Don't get those. They have a tendency when you buy them in the bags like that to rub up against one another and scratch each other. And so it's, by the time you take it out of the bag, you can see scratches and it's kind of dull. Okay, you'll also need some beautiful 2.5mm AB rhinestone chain. You get 10 yards of this, and I paid with tax on Amazon $9.30, and it was free shipping, and I received it in one day because I have Amazon Prime. I love this stuff. And this one is by the company Hanbei, and I just think it's so pretty. So you can find the link to this on my blog. If you click on the picture of this project, then when it opens up, the link will be right there for you. You'll also need some Fabri-Tac glue. This is really important. This, I think, really did a nice job as far as holding on the rhinestone chain. And surprisingly, Fabri-Tac bonds to glass, leather, wood, trims, I mean, just about everything. Now, I was at Walmart last night, and I saw that their craft department was really stocked, and they had this in 2 different sizes. You'll also need your nipper tool. That's very important. And these little eyeglass wipes, and I get them by the bag at the Dollar Tree. These basically are just alcohol wipes, and you'll need those. And then toothpicks. Got glitter stuck on this one. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, you know what? Forgot one of the most important things too. You're going to need stiff white felt. Now you can see I've already cut up and used a lot of this. This is just the scraps that are left. You can find this at Michaels and Hobby Lobby. Don't get the kind with the adhesive on the back that you peel the paper off and there's adhesive. Don't get that kind. Just plain white stiff felt. Okay, so we'll move on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these purple rhinestones, probably this one, and I'm going to put a little bit of this Fabri-Tac on the back. I'm going to stick it right to this felt. I'm going to leave a little bit of room around here, enough to put a couple of rows of chain. And I'm also going to do this clear one right here. Okay, and I'm going to set this a little ways over, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a couple of squares here. And your tabletop fan, if you have a little one, is your friend. So I'm just going to set this in front of the tabletop fan for about half an hour, just enough to have this stick really well to this so I can work with it, okay? And then we'll be back. Okay, we're going to start with the purple here. And I'm just going to put, I'm going to squeeze this bottle just a little bit and put a line of this Fabri-Tac all around here. And you will be amazed at how hard this dries. This rhinestone chain right on this little piece of stiff felt here. Okay, so now I'm putting the lid back on. You don't want to leave it open in between. And I'm going to just give myself a lot of chain. Now, don't take the chain like that and then just wrap it around like that. You have to take the end part with the first 2 or 3 rhinestones and just lay this down right here and press it flat. The reason why you want to do this is just 2 or 3 rhinestones at a time, pressing it flat, is because the rhinestone has a tendency, if you don't do that, to lay on its side, and we don't want that. Okay, so you're going to press down 2 or 3 rhinestones at a time, and let's see, maybe cut about here. Oops, I went and chopped the rhinestone off by accident. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is actually a good lesson. Okay, I'm lifting this up from the bottom. Okay, now you see how we need a rhinestone right there? Watch what I do just to fix it. I'm going to cut off one of the rhinestones and I'm going to place it right here. Now, if you want, you can use tweezers for this, but I think this will work just fine. Me putting it in here like so. And then I'm going to press it down, and look, it worked just fine. Just fine. Okay, so that was a good lesson there. Alright, now if you want, you can let this dry for about 15-20 minutes or so in front of your tabletop fan, or you can just put another row, and this dries very clear. I'm going to go all the way around. I'm just squeezing the bottle a little bit. Okay. Put the lid back on. And we are going to go around again. We're going to start with 2 or 3 stones and press it up against the first one, and then rhinestone chain, and then press it down just a little at a time. And I'm just turning this felt as we go. Alright, and it looks like I can cut it off here. This time I'm going to be a little more careful though, because I cut the rhinestone right in half. Now I'm going to take the toothpick and kind of lift it up to put it up against the chain. There we go. I'm going to press down on it. Okay, so we're going to go all the way around one more time like this, pressing down. And we have this, so now we're going to allow this to dry. I'm using my tabletop fan, but truthfully, I would let it sit for about 24 hours, and then we'll come back and clean up the rhinestone with this alcohol pad. And boy, these really work too, I have to tell you. Alright, so I'm going to set this in front of the fan, and then we'll be back. Alright, so while we're waiting for that other one to dry, I'm just going to go around this little clear rhinestone. And if you don't want to watch me do this, that's fine. You can just fast forward. And probably got a little bit too much here, but that's okay. It'll all work out in the end. Alright, so I'm going to start with putting 2 or 3 rhinestones down. Make sure that they're nice and flat. You don't want any tipped over. You're going to just take 2 or 3 at a time, like before. Go all the way around. Tap, tap. And I'm moving the felt. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off about here. Being careful not to cut any rhinestones like I did the first time. Okay, I'm going to push that right up against there. And here. Okay, now I'm just going to make it flat. Alright, you can allow that to dry a little bit like before, or you can just go in and put in another row right now, which is what I am going to do. Okay. All right. And I probably got a little too much glue, but that's okay because it'll dry clear. Okay, I'm going to lay this down, press it flat, straight down, and once again I'm moving the little the stiff felt all the way around. Okay, and I think I'm gonna cut it right about here. One thing I love about this glue is that it rolls right off your fingers, but yet it also glues nice and solid. Okay, I'm gonna make sure this is nice and flat all the way around. So we have what looks like this, and I'm going to allow this to dry as well, and then we'll be back. Okay, this is dried hard enough where I can cut this, but I'll continue to let it dry. But I'm just going to cut this like this, and see how the blades of my scissor is kind of leaning a little bit. I'm going to do this all the way around. Okay, and then if you turn it over in the back, see? Now if you want, you can kind of look to see if you missed anything. If you think you did, you can just kind of trim it here and there, like that. But I think this is fine. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use one of these eyeglass wipes. And basically all this is alcohol, so if you want to use alcohol on a cotton pad, you can do that too. And so what I'm doing, and I usually do this when I make a whole bunch of these, you know, and then I cut them, then I just do this all at once, so I don't have to waste just one alcohol wipe on one rhinestone. I can just wipe them all down at the same time. But this is a really good tip too, because if you have any rhinestones and they look a little cloudy, you can at least try to do this first. Now generally the Recollections ones are not cloudy, they're very pretty. But see, there we go. It's looking nice. Gotta let it dry. And kind of just like that. Okay, and I will let this continue to dry, so this will be nice and hard. Alright, so these turned out really beautiful, and as embellished as they look, these actually are extremely lightweight, so that's another positive to these. And here's the purple one that we did. And gorgeous. So I hope you really enjoyed this project, and I hope you give it a try. And I thank you so much for watching, and God bless each and every one of you. Take care now. Bye-bye.